There you go. Do that. Just break the pallet right away. Don't stand at the pallet. Don't try to rev it. Also, just have one here. Wait, what? Where'd she go? So this person's submission is Xunr3alk1l3rX. They have 3.5k hours. So they have a lot of hours. That is encroaching on my territory of having a stupid high amount. I have 4.2k hours. So probably I think this is the highest hour submission that we've ever had, which is very exciting, very, very cool. And because you have such high hours, like closer to mine, like that's gonna be helpful for me because like there's a lot of stuff that I don't have to focus on or worry about because I know like you probably have a general idea about like a lot of the smaller stuff in the game. Just very helpful, very helpful. All right. So let's go ahead and take a gander. It's a Billy match. Billy match. That's actually my wheelhouse. That's my wheelhouse. That's my secondary character. I have highest amount of hours on Huntress, and then it's Billy. And then honestly, Myers, we play so much that Myers is probably my third most hours at this point. I'd have to actually like dig into that. And then like Destiny, those are like the main characters I play. So yeah, Billy is my wheelhouse. Billy is somebody that I play at least once a day at this point, right? Like we've been playing Billy a lot again. My secondary character, put a lot of effort and hours into him, so this is actually something I can actually help you with. Doubling. Okay, so first off, we have double engravings. So double engravings, I will tell you guys, double engravings is the fun way to play Billy. But the most optimal way, quote unquote, to play Billy is with doom engravings and low pro. So if you're looking for something that's really, really strong and oppressive, green engravings and low pro is the way to go. But if you're looking for fun, this is fine with the doubles. If you're starting to learn Billy and you want to get into this character, he has one of the highest skill ceilings in the game, despite him not being incredibly good. I would recommend one doom engraving, so the green one down here, and then the green recovery, the kickback chains, or yellow overheat, which is the muffler. Those will green in one of those will help you with learning the character. Okay, so you have lethal. So you're going. I will say right away that I definitely would have went for the people inside the main building. There are multiple survivors in main building, and the main thing is that this is the center of the map, right? Main building is not always in the center of the map, depending on what map you're on, but this is the center gen. The center gen is always like the best gen for survivors to do right away because it helps break up possibly locking themselves into a 3 gen very easily by having the most central gen done. So the fact that you kind of see two people in main building and just forego them may end poorly. I don't know if it does, but like it might. Because those two people can get on that very important gen and do it pretty easily. Ooh. Okay, that's not your fault. That's not your fault. She did the right thing there by panning out. Billy, characters like Billy and Huntress, a lot of what happens with those characters boils down to getting to know the survivors individually, which is why they're very high skill cap characters, is because everybody dodges Huntress hatches differently, but people dodge Billy saws differently too. Like she realistically could have just hugged that wall all the way down and then, you know, got clocked. But now you know she likes to fan out. She likes to dodge outwards. So now that you know that, you can anticipate. But that's like something you didn't know because there's no way to know until you start interacting with them. So, which is, by the way, why Huntress, a lot of Huntress players like to run like infantry belt and stuff like that because it gives them more hatches to learn that about the person without having to go reload. So, same thing with Billy. Billy's the same way. So the reason you lost that there is you probably didn't hit that there is you probably should have tailgated a little bit because you're giving her a lot of distance because you're feathering for like a really long time. Like you're feathering all the way back here. Like you're feathering from one side of shack to the other. And this whole time you're not like she's getting so much distance on you because you're moving slowly. So if you had tailgated a little bit and then tried to rev up, you probably would have hit that. You're about to overheat now, too. Ooh. See, like, you know she likes to fan out. You knew that, right? Like, you knew that now. She showed you that's the way she likes to dodge chainsaws. She likes to fan out. She likes to dodge outward. Like, when you're getting close to hitting her, she likes to just whip left or right. But you didn't adjust. She showed you what she likes to do. She gave you a message. Like, I like describing it this way, and that's why these characters are my favorite characters in the game, because I love how in-depth it gets when it comes to, like, hitting these hits. It's like the Survivor, it's like communication. The Survivor's telling you something, and it's up to you to listen or not. Ada has told you, she has sent you a message, hey, if you're going to try to hit me at the very edge of a chainsaw sprint, I'm going to fan out to dodge you. And you left her on red. You did not respond. You left her on red. You said scene. You said scene. I'm going to do the same thing anyway. She tried to talk to you. She tried to send you the message. You didn't read it. So now you missed the saw. It's about communication. There you go. Your tail getting a bit more. Oh, you could see, like, that was a good idea to rev to force her to kind of greed the pallet. That's a big thing with Billy. Revving right at the edge of a pallet, they'll think you're going for an M2, so they're going to just, like, leave the pallet and keep looping. But in reality, you're just gonna, like, you know, come up again and behind them and just, like, back row them with the chainsaw. But you just didn't want her instead. You could have just returned to chainsawing and got her there. Because, like, where does she go after this? So you fake the chainsaw to successfully get her to greed the pallet, which was a very smart play and something you should always do as this character. But what do you do with that? She's stuck here. You're body blocking the pallet. The window's to your left. She won't make it before you get your chainsaw ready. So you could have insta-downed her here. Either you body block the pallet, she tries to greet it and just eats the chainsaw, or she goes to the left and you chainsaw her while she's medium vaulting. This was a down. This was a down. I'm sorry I'm going so hard. We are literally 1 minute into the video, but, like, you were asking me about a character I have soaked so many hours into, so I hope this is not annoying. Oh, that sucks. You didn't know how she was dodging because you couldn't even see her. Okay, so at this point, I know it sucks, but you've been in this chase for an incredibly long amount of time. An incredibly long amount of time. So it's about time to leave. Remember, chases in Dead by Daylight should be average around 30 to 40 seconds. If you are hitting 50 seconds to a minute plus, you need to leave. She is injured. You have some pressure. It's not the greatest pressure. She still has to go heal, which will take her off a gen. Or if she just plays injured, in that case, you find her and you M1 her again. But you've been in this chase too long. You should leave, especially with the gen already popping. Okay, so with objects like this, when it comes to corners, here, we're actually gonna do this live in this video. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you. This is how you get around corners. Okay, we're gonna go to that exact picnic table. So, you have two things. You have two kind of curves as Hillbilly. Well, they're orientated differently. You have, or two chainsaw sprints. You have the immediate curve, which means you're buffering an input right as U99, so you're just gonna hug whatever that is. So like this. Like how I just let it go immediately. Like I'm holding right. So I'm just gonna go right, like immediately. And that's what you've been using so far, is that one, where you're just gonna go with the flow of whatever your motion input was, like right as the chainsaw hits 99. Which is fine. That's really good for curving. If you're doing a delayed curve, you can actually put an input about like a half second after your chainsaw actually releases, and it changes your direction entirely. See how I started forward, and then I was able to, like, hook to the left there? I'll do it again. Right into the tree there, but... You can actually do a motion input, like, after. And then you hook. So, the reason that's important is for the situation that you were in. because you weren't able to get around the corner of a picnic table because curving means you're just going to hit this sharp edge. You're going to find that playing Hillbilly, that the collision in the game is very sloppy. It's very bad, and realistically, even though the collision of the table is it should be probably right here at the edge, it's actually like out here when it comes to the Billy chainsaw. So you're gonna clock into the table like right here, even though you know, realistically you shouldn't, but that's how this game works. You gotta work with how the game works. So you're just trying to curve this and just like hooking around. Okay, well I did it. I did it, but like, let's try to see how you were doing it. You're trying to just like, yeah, you're gonna clock into the edge there, just trying to naturally curve it. But if you go out and then around, you can go get around that edge. And like I said, these aren't orientated the same, so it's a little weird. But if you can go out and then around, you're able to clear that corner. And that's very, very important at tiles like Shack. Oh, I clocked into it there. See, look where I hit. Look, where am I right now? Do you see why this is important to go out and then in? Like, I clocked that, like, literally, I clocked that so badly. The reason this is important, because, like, for tiles like Shack, when you're trying to clear a corner like this, you go out and then around. And now you can slide down all of Shack. Whereas if you had just, like, tried to curve around it, you may have just, like, clocked right into the corner if you just try to, like, do it normally. So, yeah. That's why you do that. Okay, anyways, back to the match. Yeah, but you won't do that anymore. Now that you know. Now that you know. You won't do that anymore. Still reacting around your overheat. For you, I think that, like, Billy doesn't have the same abilities that Huntress does, where she can kind of, like, zone with hatches. He can kind of zone with his chainsaw, but I don't think there's really a reason to be, like, readying your chainsaw so far away from a tile. Like, you're readying your like, the tile you guys plan to loop is all the way back here, but you're readying your chainsaw all the way over here. She is going to make the tile before your chainsaw is fully 99 and ready to rip. So you're just building your overheat meter when you're not even going to hit this chainsaw. You should be starting to rev, like, either close to the tile or in the tile itself. You shouldn't be revving your chainsaw, like, 10 years away from what you're planning to be looping. Because the chainsaw, the whole point of curving is that it's an anti-loop thing. You're doing something that circumvents the loop. But you're doing it like almost like a blight thing where you're trying to, like, beat him to the loop with it, which is okay in some circumstances, but, like, for the most part, if you're trying to, like, curve, you should be, like, revving your chainsaw inside the loop or next to it, not, like, this far back. Which is why you end up overheating. And I would just loop here normally. I would not wait for the chainsaw to come back. I would just sit here. I think she dodged into it, but, like, you had the right idea. You had the right idea. You took the trees a little wider to accommodate for the bad collision, which is good. That's what you should do. Small thing with that. If you're in that situation and then one side of the loop doesn't have, like, the trees, because that's a thing on, like, Azrov's, that's a thing on, like, Macmillan's as well. Always take the side that doesn't have the trees if you can. Like, force them over there. Like, rotate them to the other side so you can avoid those. But yeah. Star's such an interesting choice on Billy. You already have exposed down, so doubling exposed down is kind of interesting. I'm gonna say this right here. I don't even know what's about to happen. Don't fall for what a lot of people say about Hillbilly, that you're never ever allowed to M1. Oh, he's a Millie. Who cares? You are realistically not that good of a character. That sucks to say about somebody I play a lot, I love a lot, that I have a lot of hours in. Not really that good. Most people put him low B, high C in terms of tier lists. He is fairly weak. So you take your downs when you can get him. Don't be afraid to M1. Yeah, I kind of figured. That's why I said, I'm like, you're probably gonna go for this. And you get it! Good. Good, good, good. Very good. See the difference when you start revving inside the tile and not coming up to it? Major difference. Major difference. Major difference. And you see it there. I would have just went after her and then won her. Because you're 1 for 1 right now. 1 hook apiece for each gen. Oh, you had that. You had that. You just hesitated. You had that. You just didn't commit. You just didn't commit. You just didn't commit. You had that. You 100% had that. No, now she makes this ballot. Yeah, the main thing I'm seeing is that you rev your chainsaw incredibly early, and that gives the survivors a lot of info on how and when they're going to dodge you. You rev your chainsaw. This is gonna be spoiler. This is gonna be one of your main takeaways. You rev your chainsaw extremely early, and that's giving the survivors a lot of time to react to you. The whole point of like curves is that they're unpredictable. You don't know what's gonna happen. They're supposed to be like kind of like a surprise or something. You're like, oh crap, I gotta very quickly react. But you're giving them so much time to react because you're revving so early that like they just kind of dodge. So that's kind of the main thing I'm seeing so far. I would have just walked at her. Now the gens are going. That's a very, very good Billy. That's very, very good right there. That's very, very good. That's the thing you should be doing as Billy, is what they just did right there. It's like rev your chainsaw, feather it close to 99, and then like back up and take the other side of the tile. Because they expect you to just kind of like tailgate you and keep following you. But if you back up and take the other side of the tile, they don't necessarily see it coming a lot. This part of a tile right here. So this is going to be a Billy thing that's very intricate. I'm sorry, not very intricate, but it's a very Billy specific thing. Having pallet control as Billy is very good. Very, very good. If you can position yourself at the pallet, that like unless they want to run up and just eat your chainsaw in the face, they can't do anything. They have to like this Sheva has to stay at this other edge of the tile or else she dies. Which is the a good thing for Hillbilly because you're trying to keep them relatively in one place so you can slide down the tile and hit them. Because you're at the pallet here, she's not going to be able to throw it on you, bounce it on you, like anything. She's not going to be. This is not a threat right now. You've diffused the threat of the pallet by standing right on it. So if you can take positional control of the pallet as soon as possible in a loop while you're trying to curve as Billy, that is the recipe for success. Recipe for success. I love Billy. A lot of hours on Billy. Second favorite character again. Which is why she loses this, because like she has no other option. She just has to stay at the corner and get chainsawed and get curved. He vaults that. That was very dangerous. That was very dangerous for her to... Oh, she leaves the tile. That's weird. Oh, yeah, I think she looped that very strangely. She's very, very... Yeah, she played that very, very strangely. I don't think that was you. That was just odd. I would have also assumed she would just go to the pallet, but she didn't. She left. Oh, reassurance. That's unfortunate. Good awareness to think that somebody else is coming. Good awareness. They're at that tile. Yeah, they're at the tile that you down shove at. Yeah. Yeah, they're at that tile. I love Jonah's face for like a millisecond. It's kind of terrifying. Very good. Very good. Very, very good. More entities. I think my allergies are kicking. I had somebody else said they were having allergies today, and I was like, oh. I'm not having those today. Nope. Turned out I am. Sorry, Larry. How are you, Andy? How's it going? Yeah, I would just M1 her here. I want to go for a chainsaw. Just whack her. Yeah, don't give her the window. Good job, good job. Don't give her the window. What you do emotes? I have seen her do emotes. They're really good. Some are kind of wonka TOS though. A little bit on the horny spray side. Yeah, I'm pretty alright. Pretty okay. Oh, he almost got trucked. That Joda just flirted with death. He's gonna make that before you get that. Yeah, okay. Yeah. There you go. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good, break up the heel. Good, break up the heel, very good. I say this all the time, probably better to, especially when you're one gen. Were you wanting that mortar, or were you like trying to deny the window? Like, I would have just started playing Shaq normally. That was interesting. What did you feather? You feather a lot. You needlessly feather. Why were you feathering so much before breaking that pallet? Just break the pallet. You feather a lot. Like, feathering is good on Billy, but like, you feather every situation. Feathering is not literally 100% always the right play. You feather in every single situation. Feathering is not always required. It is, so I would like dial it back. Take it from like it's a 13 out of 10 right now. We need you back down to like a 9. we need you back. We need to cool it a little bit. No pun intended on the feathering. Good. Yeah, like, you don't need to feather this much. Stop feathering! Stop feathering! Quit it! Okay. Oh, I like that idea, but like, they can see you through the window. That was smart. I liked that, but they can see you through the window. That was a cute little mind game. I enjoyed it, but it's not really a good one for that reason, because they can just see you through the... She just left the tile. She chose to be weird again. There you go. Do that. Just break the pallet right away. Don't stand at the pallet. Don't try to rub it. Also, just M1 here. Wait, what? Where'd she go? The ghost of Claudette passed, haunting this poor Billy. Where did she go? What on earth? Oh my god. That was scary. Wow. The Claudette's the nurse! Oh, that's funny. That's not your fault. She's laggy. She's very, very laggy. I would have just M1'd her. But, like... He teleported to another dimension. Why is she over there? When did she get there? Hello? What is happening? Why? Oh my god. Is she lag switching? She was fine like the whole match until this last section. And now she's like, what on earth? She was fine like the whole game, and now in this last chase, he's just oh, you could have hit that. You didn't have to hesitate there. That would have clocked her. Yeah, right now she's taking advantage of the fact that you don't want to M1. That's why she's just M1. Yeah, like that's a big part of the character. It really is. And it's not even just a Billy issue. A lot of like Weskers get like that too. They get really obsessed with hitting their M2 and only hitting their M2, and they give up so much pressure. They give up so much pressure just wanting to only hit that only hit their other power over anything else. You just gave her the pallet there. Yeah, you need to make your curves like quick and snappy. By feathering so much, you're giving them so much time to adjust and react. Like you like the whole point of, like I said earlier, curves have to be quick and snappy. You gotta like you gotta surprise them. You gotta give them the least amount of time to react as possible. But currently, you're giving them like all the time in the world to get to the next pallet, switch the side of the rotate that they're on. Like you're giving them a lot of space to react to you. You gotta like do these with more confidence. You gotta like just let no other way to put it. Let that rock. You gotta let that shit ride. You gotta just let it go. Because you're giving them too much time to react to you. And that's why a lot of these are missing. It's because not because they're bad curves, but because you're giving the survivors enough time to position themselves safely. That's why. Hey, Allie Bally. How are you, bud? How's your Monday? Ooh, she almost messed up. Oh, because she's laggy. Ah! Bill! Stop playing on McDonald's Wi-Fi during your break! That was a hit! He threw it late and it didn't matter. That's not your fault. Playing on McDonald's Wi-Fi on a break. He's playing at the company computer where they do all the tutorials. I worked at McDonald's for 4 years, by the way, so that's not a knock. It's not a knock. I lived that life. I also don't... Is that the first time you've back-revved? I don't see you back-rev at all. This is another ego thing for a lot of billies. I'm not saying that's what you're doing. But, like, that's another ego thing for a lot of billies, including me. I do this sometimes. It's like, they don't want to back-rev, because it's just, like, it's not easy, but it's, like, kind of just way simpler than actually curving somebody. I don't really see you back-rev, like, that much in this match. I don't know if the opportunities just weren't there. Like, what? You should be back-revving, too. You should be back-revving, too. I like the memes. All right, so let's see. You don't let him get this, right? Wait, they get her? What? How did they get her? You're Hillbilly. How did they get her? Are you letting her? Are you letting him have it? Okay, you let him have it. Okay, you're just being nice. Okay, I was like, how? How did this happen? I need a 4-page essay on my desk tomorrow explaining how this product got hooked. But you just let her go. Okay. I was like, what? You let her go. Yeah, they all have 100+ ping. That's awful. Okay, we don't get to see what the perks are. Not that I don't think the perks necessarily were a huge contributor to the reason that, I feel like most of the reason that things went the way they did in this match was because of just Billy things and stuff that you were doing. Once again, this one's gonna be a little bit more character specific, so not as much in terms of general takeaways. But I'll start with one that's a little bit more general. Don't throw to use your power. Don't throw to use your power. We've had a different episode of the match reviews where somebody was afraid of using their power, and I encouraged them to use it more. This is the opposite. You are trying to curve anything, everything. Even when the whole point of Billy's chainsaw is that it's an insta-down ability. It's an insta-down ability, taking 2 health states at once. There's plenty of times that the easier option was just to M1 and just clock the guy. And you let ego step in. You're like, no, we're gonna change ego, whether that be for fun for you, fun for them. You let ego step in and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna chainsaw people. I'm gonna chainsaw instead, even though they're injured. There were so many times this match you should just forward and did the M1. And like I said earlier in the match review, like, there's plenty of characters in the game that do, like, Weskers do this, Pyramid Heads do this. Basically anybody with any sort of M2 that's like kind of fun to throw to like use, they'll like forego an easy hit just to use their power and then like be like, oh my god, I can't believe I lost. It's like, just M1 them. Just M1 them. I get that your power is fun and fun to use, but like sometimes you throw by not just M1ing because it was just easier. It would have saved you so much time. And time in DBD is gen time. Match time is gen time. So by extending your chases a lot just to get a use out of your power, that's time on gens. It's time on gens. Yeah, exactly. A lot of people internalize it. It'll be called a milli, and it's like, realistically, you are a low B, high C killer. You are not very strong. You have to M1 sometimes. Especially with some of the way the loops are in the game. Like, Garden of Joy has so many, like chainable loops. It's got that crazy main building. You're not going to get through a match on Garden of Joy with Hillbilly without M1ing here and there. It's just not a thing. At least in terms of consistency. At least in terms of consistency. Yeah, so like that, don't throw the game, don't forego easy hits just for the sake of using your power. Do not do that. Do not do that. Billy specific thing, which is your second takeaway, you rev incredibly early. And like all the time. Like it's feathering is a good skill on Billy, which is, you know, trying to 99 your chainsaw so you have a little bit more control over when you release it. Very good. Very good skill. But you do it literally like super early and at every loop. You feather early and you feather often. Almost like feathering is a very good thing to do on Hillbilly because it gives you more control of when you release your chainsaw. But like every single loop and doing it like you do it almost every single loop and you usually do it like 10 feet before you even get to the loop itself. And there was you overheated twice in this match. Twice in this match. I overheat like once every like week or two. I overheat like once a week or two. And you overheated twice in one match. And the reason why that happened is because you were revving way too much. Way too much. You were revving early and almost at every loop possible. Even when it didn't necessarily help you. When it wasn't even your best interest. You revved all the time. And that's why you overheated twice. That's why you overheated twice. So yeah, I would cool it. No pun intended. I would cool it on the revving. Rev when you're closer to the tile, not like outside the tile. And also like there's some times where like feathering is just like not realistically that helpful. It would probably be better just to like be quick and snappy and just send the chainsaw really early and catch the survivor off guard. I feel like that's another thing. Which is not a separate point, but it's another thing. It's like Billies get scared a lot because they're playing such a skill-intensive killer and it's so demanding on you that they want to set up like the perfect situation in order to hit their curve. And a lot of the time that just like letting it rock and just hitting something unpredictable is how you get the down. Because like I was telling you earlier, like a lot of survivors will be able to predict where you're going and what you're doing if you take all that time feathering at a tile. You give them so much time to react to you, so much time to reposition themselves into a safer spot. You're essentially giving them the out. You're giving them the ability to react to you. And you don't want to do that. So feather a little less and feather a little closer to your tiles. Yeah, other than that, like you were hitting some really cool curves. Really, really good curves. Definitely start integrating the hook curve or the delayed curve, whatever you want to call it. The one where you curve at like a half second after you start. I didn't see you do that very much. And that would have definitely saved you from clocking into some of the corners on the map that you did. Like the corners of tiles and stuff like that. You mostly just did normal curves, which is great, but implement that into your arsenal as well as the delayed curve or the hook curve. Yeah, and that like you did fine. It was just you just the main two things I talked about kind of like wasted a lot of time and that allowed them to get all the gens done. So yeah.